Hello and welcome to this HEFLO webinar. Today we will see how you can edit the content of your process documentation directly in the process editor. Moreover, we will present to you a new feature concerning grammar checker. And after, we will see new features concerning automation. Let's go. So first of all, we will show you how we can edit the content of your process documentation directly to the process editor. For this, I will use this process example, which is the purchase of material goods and services. So to do that, you need to go to the Actions tab and click on Edit Content. After this, you will be redirected to a dialog box where you will be able to find in the right part the visualization of your PDF documentation when you download the process documentation. And to the left part, you will see the different elements that compose your process. So you will see the label of your different activities. The position I will talk a little bit more after. The performer, okay, so or the participant, and the information to see if the element is documented or not. You can find this information also above the screen and different actions that you can perform. First of all, these elements are adaptable to your screen. You can zoom also the PDF if needed. And so what the goal here? The goal will be to update the different information if needed. So here you can have a quick overview of your documentation. And if you need to change or document an element, so for example, let's go to the collect quotes. If I click on the element, first of all, you can see the documentation to the right part because you're redirected to this element and the element here in a editor, if I can say like this, where you can update few elements. Let's take another one, maybe analyze the request. Yeah, exactly. I click here, and from that moment you can change different elements such as the label. So analyze the requests of, I will put purchase just to do an example. And if I click apply, from that moment, the system will update my documentation. So here, yeah, as you can see, analyze the request of purchase. And if I go back to the process editor, I will see that it updates also here. So let's go back and let's update also its documentation. So analyze of the request of the purchase. I will just save or not, just to do an example. So here, same thing, I will click on apply, and normally it will update here my documentation. Okay, and let's go back to the process editor. And as you can see, it updates here also. So it's very an interesting feature because in one single screen, you can have control of all the process documentation of your different elements. Another thing that can be interested or also is that you are able from the screen to translate elements if you need to translate in different languages. So for example, here, let's take something that is already filled in. Okay, so here, and it will follow the different step of translation. If you're interested on this feature, you can see another webinar that we did on this feature. Okay. Other thing that we can do is to change the order of the documentation. Yeah, because as you know, we follow a specific rule concerning the order of your different elements in the process documentation. Indeed, we follow exactly the workflow, but when it's divided into different paths, we are following the one that is the lefter possible. Maybe this rule is not the one that you would like to follow for your process documentation. So in the edit content, you can also change the default order of the display of the activities. For example, let's take the approved one. Okay, let's imagine that I would like, I don't know why, put this element before the approve the request. So to do this, you just select the element and drop it where you want. And from that moment, it will edit the documentation. Let's see this. Okay, so now, as you can see, approved is before approve the request. Okay, and if you want to cancel the different change you did, you just need to click on this button and we will retake the order. Great. So now for this example, let's put back, okay, here, and let's do an export of the PDF to see the different change that we've made, such as the title here, the documentation here, and the organizational part. Okay, so let's do a test. Let me check again. Yeah, it's saved automatically, so perfect. Now download documentation. Okay. Okay. Now we have the process documentation, and so as you can see, approved is before approve the request. So if I'm redirected here, I can check also. And here, analyze the request of purchase. We have the new title and the new documentation. So everything is set up as we want it. Now let's see a new feature that HEFLO provides is the grammar checker. So when you write your documentation, sometimes you will want to need to check if everything is writing correctly. So to do that, we have a new feature here that can give you the possibility to rewrite the text with a new point of view, okay? Thanks to the artificial intelligence and a grammar checker. So let's imagine that here I will remove this and well, to do to those. I will put something like this and I will use the grammar checker and this function will be able to create the new text, show you the change like that it remove correct the elements. You have also the possibility to have the vision of the old text. And if I click apply, we have now the new text with the correction. Okay. You have also the possibility to rewrite a text to have a new proposition. Okay. You can see the change, etc. Well, for my case, I will not apply. Other thing very interesting is that you don't need to do this action for the full text. You can, for example, here, I will just select my element and here you see the icon. Okay, so we'll put a grammar check and it will be able to do the change only in the selected part. Okay, good. I confirm. And this feature is also available in the feature that I showed you previously, the edit content. So where when you select here, sorry, when you select an element, you have these two options here to rewrite and here to do the grammar check. Okay, and you have also the possibility to do this only in a selected part. The icon that I showed you before appears here also. You have the possibility to do that in the documentation part, as I showed you, with every page belong in HEFLO. Otherwise, if you want to do that in the automation part, such as, for example, to send an email from the conversation tab, you have the possibility to do that only if you connect your OpenAI key through your HEFLO environment. So for example, here I'm doing an example. You can select the text when you're writing an email and do this element. But if you don't have, which is my case, an OpenAI key, it will not work on this part. Okay. So now let me show you where you can set up this configuration. You need to go to the process editor visualization mode, artificial intelligence, and in the settings, you can pass here your OpenAI key. And from that moment, this feature will be available also in the automation part to send email and to correct those emails. Now let's talk about the new features that we can provide concerning automation. For example, here I am in the task list. And as you can see, bill events have a lot of work items in progress. But maybe it's not the reality. Maybe in progress and what you need to do today is few of them. So for this reason, we create a new status which is scheduled. Because like that, a user can schedule some work item or process instances to not fulfill the in progress status list. To do that, let's do with the number 7, for example. So let's open it. We will change the status of this work item. To do that, click on the 3 dots and click on schedule. And let's put this to until the 20th of August. Okay, I will confirm. From that moment, a new information is available here. Okay, so that means that this work item, the number 7, will disappear from the in progress status to scheduled status until the 20th of August. And from that date, okay, it will be automatically change the status for the in progress. So, for example, here, as you can see, the 7th disappear. And if I go in scheduled, I found this one. And you have also an information about the date. Let me check this information. Yeah, scheduled date. Okay. And we can see this information. As I said, when we will reach this date, the work item will go automatically to the status for in progress. But maybe you want to do it manually. So to do that, just open the work item, go back to scheduled option and clear the schedule date. Confirm. And from that moment, the work item goes back automatically in progress status. Number 7. You have the possibility to perform this action for several work items at the same time. For example, I will take the 7, the 8, and the 10. And from here, you can click this icon, choose a specific date for all of them, you confirm, and from that moment, these 3 work items are in the scheduled status with the scheduled date that you fill in. Okay, and same thing, if you want to cancel the 3 at the same time, you can click on this icon and click clear schedule. Okay, confirm, and from that moment, same thing, it will be removed from the scheduled status and go back to the in progress status. A last information that I would like to share with you today is the new feature concerning the user interface for the work item. For example, here, let's go back to the number 7. As you can see, Bill can perform a lot of actions in this work item. You can see the files, you can see the conversation tab, you can perform several actions here. But maybe in some case, we would like to avoid this kind of interface or actions for different users. For example, here I would like that Bill can see only the general tab and don't give him the possibility to cancel a work item. So to do this, we'll need to go to the manage environment settings, but in particular in the users and authorization. And we will need to associate a custom role to Bill Evans. So to do that, I will go to the roles, create a new one. And if you're aware about this kind of configuration, you can see that there is a new button here, hide process instance user interface. So here I will create a name, okay. And so here, when I click on this button, I can see all the actions or interface button that I can hide to this final user. So in my case, what I would like to hide, so this is the main screen. So for example, we will see the file and the conversation tab here. Here the menu options is the three dots. So we can hide elements. And sidebar options is when you can start some, for example, add a sub-process or for example the linked token when you have parallel gateways or process message when connection between parents process and child process. So here in my case, I want to hide the conversation tab and to hide the files tab and to not give the possibility to the user to cancel a work item. So we click confirm. Here, it doesn't matter what I will do for my example, but I will give access to all the pages except the editor, confirm. And I will associate this new role in addition to the administrator role for Bill. So here in user interface example. So here, normally, if you know the logic of accumulation of role in HEFLO, you will tell me that if I let him administrator role, he has all the rights, so it will not work. It is true for page access, process access, but not for this option of hiding elements in the interface of work item. This one, if you put something hide in one role, it will take prioritization in comparison with the other role. Okay, so here it will still have all the administrator rights, but with an interface with some hidden points. Let's do an example. I will go back to the task list and open again the work item number 7. And as you can see now, Bill Evans doesn't have access anymore to the Files tab, neither the Conversation tab, and here you will not be able to cancel a work item. So this new feature is very interesting for you guys to be able to create interface which reached your different goals concerning automation interface for your user. That's all that I wanted to show you today. So guys, I hope you learned a lot of things with these new features and that will help you in your work concerning process management. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see different video and rewatch this kind of events and discover new content concerning HEFLO features and process management content. And don't forget also to subscribe to our broadcast page to be able to rewatch our different webinars. Thank you very much. Goodbye.